Hello people, I am Jaby KOAY, joined by ACHARA, the big silly goofy KIRK. So, we're gonna look at introducing GUNJAN SAXENA, the Kargil girl, or Kargil girl, depending on where you're from and how you wanna. Janvi Kapoor, a Netflix original film, Netflix India. It says in the description, GUNJAN SAXENA, the Kargil girl, is the inspiring tale of a simple girl who went to remarkable lengths to achieve her dreams. Experience this magical tale coming soon only to Netflix.
गुंजन सक्सेना, लखनऊ की एक छोटी सी लड़की, जिसका एक बहुत बड़ा सपना था, बड़ी होके पायलट बनने का सपना।
Good for her.
लेकिन जो दुनिया ये सोचती थी कि लड़कियां गाड़ी नहीं चला पाती, क्या वो गुंजन को प्लेन उड़ाने देती? उस दीवानी को दुनिया की परवाह नहीं, बस अपने पापा पर भरोसा था, जो कहते प्लेन लड़का उड़ाए या लड़की, उसे पायलट ही कहते हैं। 1999 के कारगिल वॉर में गुंजन सक्सेना ने चीता हेलीकॉप्टर उड़ाया, देश की रक्षा की, और वॉर जोन में जाने वाली पहली वुमेन एयरफोर्स ऑफिसर बनके हिस्ट्री बदल दी। आज इंडियन एयरफोर्स में 1600 से ज्यादा वुमेन ऑफिसर्स हैं, जो भारत की हर बेटी को अपने सपने पूरे करने का हौसला दे रही हैं। मैं आप और आपकी फैमिली को गुंजन सक्सेना के सपने का हिस्सा बनने के लिए इनवाइट करना चाहती हूँ, बहुत जल्द सिर्फ नेटफ्लिक्स पर।
Is she the first one? Is that the idea here?
Yeah. She was the first female pilot, and she fought in battle. Because of her taking that first step, being the first one, there are now over 1600
yeah.
female pilots.
Kargil. GUNJAN SAXENA, the Kargil girl.
GUNJAN.
GUNJAN.
Where'd the extra A come from?
What did I say?
Gunjana.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, okay, GUNJAN SAXENA.
Yeah, remember the name, all right? First female pilot fought in Kargil. Watching that, I was getting all emotional.
Well, of course you were.
Yeah.
You're a broad.
I'm a broad.
Broads get emotional over other broads inspiring, harrowing tales. No, I get it. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, over here, we less often hear about the first female whatever who flew across the Atlantic. Martha Stewart, that's not her name. Amelia Earhart.
Wow.
No, I know, I'm just messing around. So, yeah, Amelia Earhart. There's actually a park in North Hollywood where I grew up. I think it's called Amelia Earhart Park. They show her holding a wing. We still don't know what happened to her. According to Star Trek, she got captured by aliens. But anywho, we more often hear about like the first black something, first black swimmer, or what do you call it, Navy person, or you know,
Navy SEAL.
Not Navy SEAL, but I don't know. Anyway, a lot of stories like that is what I'm trying to say. We don't often hear about the first female anything. The only one I can think of did not do well. I don't even know if it's the first female, but she was a female, which is G.I. Jane.
Oh, yeah, that's not even like based on a true story. That's G.I. Jane.
It was real when Demi Moore shaved her head. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, that was real.
But anyway, about this, the importance of this is very obvious. There's a video I put out a while ago. A fan of the channel made this video using a GoPro camera, all POV, and it was just him riding around India, and it was my first time seeing something like that. I had a guest on with me and we're watching it, and it was a female guest, which is statistically more likely than not. And what happened was towards the end of the video, dude said, you know, you're driving like a woman, you gotta be careful. I just kind of recoiled in horror. I was like, whoa. I already feel a way about that. I'm fine with saying you're being a pussy, but I'm not fine with saying, hey, you're being a woman, and that's the derogatory term. I don't know why I have that separation in my mind.
In Asia, that is still very much a thing, because I remember I was in the car with my older sister. She drives very aggressively, and we were getting into a parking space, and she like, you know, boom, got into that space, and she gets out, and the guard at the parking lot was like, oh, madam, I thought you were a man before you got out of the car. And she's all like, I felt offended, right? Because I've been living in the West for so long. I was like, oh, how dare he? And she's like, there's not even any point in trying to have that discussion with him. I'm just gonna let it go because it happens so often.
Right. In that video, there were comments from men and women going, no, it's like, and I thought it was just a byproduct of the fact that maybe there are just less female drivers, and so they're, like they were saying here, like maybe men are stifling their interest in it. When a woman finally goes out there and drives, she's more nervous for all the reasons of like being shouted at that you're not gonna be able to do this very well, right? I have no idea what goes into that, because I tried Googling it to make an argument with someone in the comments, because I like to do that sometimes, and I found myself getting schooled by myself, because when I tried to look up like how long females have been driving in India, apparently they've been driving for like 100 years in India. So it's not new. It's been happening for a long time. Like, this is a cursory glance I took at some Google, so you have to look it up yourself. Don't take my word for it. But what I'm trying to say is, I think that it's more of external influences than how long it's been going on. Because women have been allowed to drive in India for a long time, it's more about what they're being told. So there was a comment in that video, the same one I'm referencing, where a woman chimes in and says, yeah, like, I hate that this is a thing, but it is a thing. Meaning she was in agreement that females are just statistically more likely to be bad drivers. And I was like, why are you? The comment that shows up is how a lot is how women brake on the scooter with their feet.
Oh.
As opposed to actually braking. Just showing y'all that I pay attention to the comments. Go ahead, Achara, I've been interrupting for the last 5 minutes.
What you're saying definitely has merit. I think a lot of the time it's the narrative that we're told, right? From our families, from the people around us. Yeah. And so then we start to internalize it and believe it. But what was so lovely about this is that it seemed like her father was very supportive of her decision, you know? Like, he said that beautiful thing where he's like, there's no male pilot, female pilot, it's just pilot, you know? Like, if you know how to fly a plane...
A plane. If you know how to fly a plane...
You know how to fly... No, you know how to fly a plane,
No pain, no gain.
No plane, no pilots. Yeah, but if you know how to fly the damn plane, then you're a pilot.
If you know how to fly the plane.
My Asianness came out, like what?
Yeah. I wonder if it was like Thopard, if it was like that, or if it was like, oh my God, why are these movie names all falling out of my head right now? It was the most famous one with Amir Khan and Fatima.
Oh, Dangal.
Dangal. So, like, I don't know why that name fell out of my head all of a sudden. Okay, yeah, it's like Dangal, where he's like, no, you're gonna do this shit. Where he's more, you're doing this.
I didn't feel that from the trailer.
Well, I know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, obviously, this is like a glossy, sugar-coated version of the actual story. We don't know what the nitty-gritty details of what she went through. It's all, you know, the surface, looking back and reflecting as opposed to going through it with her. Yeah,
but I mean, it takes a very specific type of person, let alone a woman, to be able to break the boundaries and to not stop at all the no's that come her way. Because there must have been so many, like, no, you're a girl, you can't do that. Why are you interested in that? You can't join the army, you can't fly a plane. You know what I mean?
You can't fly a plane. I mean a plane. God damn it.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
you also can't speak English very well.
No, I can't. Fresh off the boat, peeps. It's just incredibly inspiring. And it's interesting that they've decided to take this route where instead of showing us a trailer, they're teasing us with the story.
Do you mean inspiring for you or inspiring for little women?
For everyone. I mean, I think it's incredibly inspiring, and probably more so for little kids who, you know, when you're young, you have dreams, and hopefully when you're really young, you haven't had limits placed on your dreams yet. You know, like, you're all like, I want to be this, I want to be that. And no one's told you the harsh reality or told you no. I think it's a great movie for little kids to watch and to hopefully inspire young girls to do something that's not stereotypical.
I hope so. I really hope so, because Asians in general have a bad habit of like boxing you in to what they think that you're good enough to be, and it's the worst. Because I can almost guarantee you, a little girl will see this and go, I want to be just like GUNJAN SAXENA, and the parent will be like, you're no GUNJAN SAXENA. Go and do engineering, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying?
Be a doctor.
Yeah, be a doctor. Like, I can only imagine what that conversation would be like, because despite the fact that you have not just her, but 1,600 other broads who went in and joined the military and have been successful at it, you're still gonna get those parents who are like, yeah, but you're not that. That's a special case. You're not a special case. You're special for engineering. So.
And it's also the danger factor as well, right? Because obviously if you're flying in the line of fire, if you're in a war zone, it's really dangerous, and parents are very protective of their girls. That's another hurdle to be like, no, I want to do this for my country.
I don't know. I feel like
equality and all that.
There are so many instances I've heard about where parents basically disown their child for a long time. It's like, that's not very protective. I don't know what I'm talking about. You guys let me know in the comments if you've ever been disowned by your parent, if you're a girl. But it's gonna get real up in these comments.
Yeah, I know. Like, where did we go? We were talking about GUNJAN SAXENA, and now you've gone into females being disowned by their family.
Hey, it's an important part of the discussion, I think.
For wanting to chase a dream.
I think that's a big part of the discussion that's worth exploring. So, Anyway, one thing that popped out in my head that I thought was a little bit funny was at 17 seconds, it says, but she didn't care about the world, but she did want to save it. It's like, well, it didn't say that part. I put that in my head, like, but she didn't care about the world. I'm like, well, obviously she did. She joined the military.
Well,
she didn't care about the world's opinions.
Exactly.
Of women, of ladies.
Of ladies
So-
and what they're allowed to do.
Yeah.
So good for her for sticking to her guns. Gunjan.
And she's in the military.
Yeah.
Her name was like perfect. She's like, she had to go in the military.
No, good for her. That's a very inspiring story, and I'm very glad that they're telling this, and I love that they're encouraging people to watch it with their families. I think that's a really cute thing to do.
Yeah, okay.
What, you don't think it's cute?
No, I think it is just a weird bit of information to throw in there.
Well, yeah, because they're like, watch it with your family. Yeah. Maybe it'll change their mind. Maybe you'll be like, oh, Papa, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. I want to join the army. Let me do that.
I almost cleared the frame hard there. I was like, are you doing some kind of pseudo-Indian accent?
Yes, no.
You're on your own here.
Nope.
You know, the real hero here, it's not just her and her perseverance, but her dad. Because...
Yeah. What?
Her,
I agreed with you for a second, and I'm like, no, we can't take away from the fact that she herself is a hero as well.
No, I'm not taking away that. I'm saying, like, obviously she deserves credit for striving forward and having the perseverance to do this despite all the people trying to impede her, right? Mm-hmm. But she needed something in that bedrock in her heart, which is her dad. And I think that you need to acknowledge that, not just acknowledge it, but highlight that and emphasize it, because it starts with the parents. And if the parents are willing to be open-minded and see what their children are predisposed towards and fan that fire,
and support.
You know, who knows what will come of that.
Yeah.
There was I've mentioned it many times, there was a ballet story, like a TED Talk of some kind, and this girl was talking about how, this woman, I should say, she was much older, and she was talking about how when she was a little girl, you know, her parents were trying to figure out what medicine to put her on because she was very rambunctious, she was very energetic, and they took her to a doctor in the hopes of finding a medicine to put her on. And the doctor came back and said, there's nothing wrong with her. She's just a ballerina, or she's just a dancer, something like that. And so they put her in dance classes, and she became this world-renowned ballerina. It's like, if that's not inspiring and forces you to shift your perspective on how to approach parenthood, like, I don't know what it takes, man. Like, and this, again, speaks to the same idea. It's like, you just have to be open-minded about what your children are predisposed towards, and also take into consideration that you might invest in something that doesn't pan out because children are subject to change. Their opinions will shift, they're growing up, they're evolving. And so, hopefully though, you can put them on the path towards what they are predisposed towards, and it works out. Like, I had a very strong inclination towards martial arts as a kid, and I kept harping on my dad for the better part of 7-8 years, because like I was 5 years old when I realized that I wanted to do martial arts, and it wasn't until I was 12 that I got to be in it. And I still retain the philosophy and elements of that in my life today. Like, even in my exercises, I'm the weirdo at the gym doing like kicks and stuff that I learned from martial arts. Like, that has stayed with me for life. I think it's important to really hear what your kids have to say. Obviously, don't go to the white American extreme that some, you know, soccer parents do over here. Like, some parents are really, really weird over here.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I don't know.
Or like,
I just think some parents take it too far here. They think, all of them think their kids are special. It's like, no, maybe they're not. Maybe they're gonna work at an office. Maybe they're just a fuck up. Like, some kids are not special, and you need to accept that reality. Not all kids are gonna go and become Michael Jackson or
my kid is special to me.
Justin Timberlake. Or GUNJAN SAXENA, you know? It's fine if your kid is special to you, but you have to also be realistic and acknowledge that, okay, if your kid is predisposed towards something, then maybe fan that flame and see where that goes. But also, what do you call it? Not monitor, but like keep your expectations in check. What's the way to phrase that?
Curb your expectations?
Yeah, curb your expectations. Yeah, exactly. Curb your expectations.
Curb your enthusiasm.
Curb your enthusiasm and your expectations. Because you just don't know where it's gonna go. Cautiously optimistic is what I think every parent should do. But
I think that's way easier when you've got a little bit of Asian in you, because I remember looking at my friend's kid at a ballet recital, and outwardly I'm going, well done, children, well done.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, inside, judging.
Yeah, see? Sure.
So Asian, I'm like, turn out, not great. We can work on that.
The best example of this that I can think of is Mark Zuckerberg. His dad saw his interest into coding and whatnot, and programming. And so he fanned that flame. He got Mark Zuckerberg a private tutor. Obviously, he could afford this. He got Mark Zuckerberg a private tutor, and then Mark Zuckerberg designed AOL Instant Messenger before AOL Instant Messenger existed, just so his dad could communicate with his employees.
Wow.
I mean, that's crazy to me.
That's pretty cool.
And so
But I think
now he owns Facebook. What?
in this case, it doesn't look like she comes from a super wealthy family. So
That's not,
having
that's not the point. The point is fanning the flame. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
saying she's gonna go and own Facebook. I'm saying you fan the flame and then some
Do what you can.
Beautiful things can come of this.
yeah, do what you can, support, you know.
Down goal. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us.